You know, it's wild how much of what we call reality is actually just us. Like what we choose to see, what our brains interpret, our past, our desires, even just the mood we're in. There are all these invisible filters, right? And often, without even realizing it, we're crafting these intricate stories in our heads. But sometimes, those stories we tell ourselves, those perceptions we cling to, they turn out to be the most elaborate, most terrifying illusions of all. That's something that just keeps pulling me back to Park Chan-wook's Oldboy. It's a film that genuinely gets under your skin, isn't it? It's not just a shock value revenge flick, even though it's certainly got that. No, it's this surprisingly deep dive into what happens when everything you thought defined you, everything you understood about your existence, is just systematically dismantled, piece by piece. And after that happens, you're left asking, what's actually left of truth?
사랑해요, 아저씨.
So picture it. Oh Dae-su, this pretty average guy, just disappears one night in 1988. He wakes up in this incredibly drab, generic hotel room, and that room becomes his entire world for 15 unbelievably long years. Food slides through a dog door. His only real connection to the outside world is a tiny TV. And through that TV, he slowly, excruciatingly learns he's been framed for his wife's murder. It's not just about him being locked up. It's about his mind being twisted, his sanity fraying, trapped in the echo chamber of his own thoughts. He's obviously losing it, tries to kill himself even. But in that absolute solitude, something else begins to grow. And then, just as mysteriously, he's out. Just pops out of this weird red box on a rooftop. Park Chan-wook frames it so beautifully, doesn't he? Like a chick hatching, disoriented by the harsh sunlight. But this isn't some innocent rebirth. Dae-su has this new primal hunger. I want to eat something alive. That octopus scene, man. It's legendary, and yeah, it's shocking, but it's more than that. It's this raw, almost ritualistic act of transformation. You see the octopus squirming, its tentacles clinging, and it's just this perfect visual metaphor for Dae-su's own desperate, animalistic hunt for answers. He's literally consuming life, absorbing its essence. He's not the same guy who went in. He's something new, something fundamentally changed. And what I love is how Park Chan-wook makes sure you feel that transformation, every visceral moment of it, every shot, every sound. It all just serves this precise purpose. But here's the kicker, the real gut punch. The entire nightmare, it wasn't fate. It was Lee Woo-jin. You watch him, so composed, almost eerily calm, and you think about all the chances he had to just end Dae-su during his imprisonment, after he got out, but he never did. And that's the crucial part, isn't it? Because simple death, that's too quick, too merciful. Woo-jin's revenge, it's this incredibly intricate, meticulously designed psychological torment. He wasn't just trying to kill Dae-su, he was trying to utterly destroy him, to obliterate the very foundation of his identity. Woo-jin's whole twisted motivation, it comes from this profound, crushing shame. That incestuous relationship with his sister, thanks to Dae-su's thoughtless gossip all those years ago. And his entire life since then has been dedicated to one singular goal, making Dae-su share that shame. Not just understand it intellectually, but actually experience it. To be trapped in something just as horrifying, just as unescapable. And that revelation, that Mito is Dae-su's daughter, that's not just a plot twist. That's the absolute peak of this psychological warfare. Woo-jin isn't just dropping a secret, he's essentially creating a new reality for Dae-su, one built entirely on the wreckage of his own unwitting actions. It's just truly monstrous. And then, after delivering that final, devastating blow, Woo-jin just takes his own life. You see him, not triumphant, but hollowed out. He walks into that elevator, pulls out the gun. His victory is immediately followed by this profound, unearthing emptiness. He spent his entire existence on this one destructive purpose, and with it achieved, there's simply nothing left. No future, no identity beyond that single-minded pursuit. It's this chilling commentary on how unchecked vengeance can actually consume you, isn't it? The justice he sought, in the end, was nothing more than an elaborate, drawn-out suicide for himself. For Oh Dae-su, Woo-jin's death, it offers no real freedom. That truth, once it's out there, it's just a new kind of prison. So he seeks the ultimate escape, forgetting. He finds the mysterious hypnotist, this quiet gatekeeper of oblivion. And this is where the film's ambiguity truly shines, I think. We don't actually see what Dae-su asks her to do. Does she erase the memory of the act itself, or just the knowledge that Mito is his daughter? And that final scene in the snow, it's beautiful, almost serene, but it's just haunting, isn't it? Dae-su looks content, seemingly free, but we, the audience, we're left with the horrifying knowledge that his piece is built on this fundamental, absolutely monstrous deception. He literally chooses ignorance over a truth that's just too much to bear. You know, Oh Dae-su spent 15 years screaming, "Why me?" He busted his ass, hunted, suffered, all to get that answer. He was so convinced that knowing the why would somehow set him free. But what Oldboy seems to be telling us, I think, is that his biggest mistake wasn't in failing to find an answer, it was in asking the wrong question all along. Because you just can't get the right answer if your fundamental question is off, right? Dae-su became so fixated on the why of his capture that he completely missed the what, the deeper, more interconnected consequences of his past. His laser focus on revenge, it just blinded him to this much larger, more horrifying tapestry of cause and effect. And because of that blindness, he just walked right into a perfectly laid trap. A trap that ultimately revealed a truth so grotesque that it forced him to choose a comforting illusion over a devastating reality. And for me, that's where Oldboy transcends being just an incredible revenge thriller and becomes this really profound, almost unsettling philosophical inquiry. It digs into our messy relationship with memory, with guilt, and how fragile our sense of self truly is. It screams this idea that, be it a rock or a grain of sand, in water, they sink as the same. Meaning, whether our actions feel monumental or completely trivial, the ripples they create can come back to utterly drown us with the exact same force. This film, it really makes you stop and ask yourself, are you truly ready for the truth, even if it means completely shattering everything you thought you knew about yourself? Or are you, like Dae-su, eventually going to find comfort in a really well-constructed lie? And I think maybe the most terrifying insight Oldboy offers isn't even about vengeance. It's about this almost unbearable freedom that comes with knowing the absolute, unvarnished truth. A freedom so utterly crushing, so overwhelming, that it actually compels us to actively choose our own ignorance, to build our own mental prisms, just to survive the sheer unbearable weight of what we can no longer unknow. So, what truth are you afraid to confront?
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.